Okay, I'm back in paradise, of course. Paradise, Arizona. Doesn't look like Arizona. I just love this background. So, Social Security Planning Part 2. We're going to talk about the tricks and pitfalls and things we got to worry about. Again, we're going to try to get a well-rounded informational session in everything you need to know about Social Security. So we'll get into the planning in the next 2 sessions as well. So the traps, let's talk about them. The first one, know that Social Security is taxable in retirement. So we got to be careful about this. This is one of the reasons that I can tell people that have mountains of IRA money to delay taking Social Security so we can work through some of that IRA money at lower taxation. Taxation is a huge part of the planning process when it comes to being as efficient as possible in retirement, and recognizing how Social Security is taxed is a big part of this. So there is a quick, easy way. They put it on the Social Security website, also the Medicare website, the IRS website. It's a fun little way to estimate how much of your Social Security will be taxable. So add all of your income, all of your taxable income, including municipal bond income that shouldn't be taxable, but it causes taxation. So add all the income together, okay? Add that non-taxable interest and half of your Social Security, okay? So add all forms of income except Social Security, and then add half that Social Security. We're going to use that as a number. And then we'll go to this next page. If you're a single person, anywhere from between 25,000 and 34,000, that's where you ramp up from zero taxation on your Social Security on up to 85% of your Social Security being taxable over 34. So if that number, remember, all of your other income plus half your Social Security, all your taxable income and non-taxable interest plus half your Social Security, then you look at this chart. Anything under 25,000, the Social Security is going to be completely tax-free. Anything over 34,000, it is going to be taxable at 85%. For married couples, it jumps it up to 32 and 44. Yes, that is a marriage penalty. When it comes to taxation of Social Security, it does not pay off to be married because these numbers are not double the individual. So we need to understand this, and that also makes that zone from 32 to 44 for married couples and 25 to 34. It makes you have a very sensitive tax return. Some years you might pay nothing. Some years you might be paying thousands of dollars, and you don't even know that there was that much of a difference. But you look at this, it doesn't take much to make a huge difference. You go from zero, Social Security being zero taxable to 50% pretty quick. And then from 50% to 85%, it jumps very quickly as well. So that's why some people's tax returns, some years they pay a whole bunch, some years they don't. And we have to pay attention to that when it comes to the planning side of this. Trap number 2, if you take early, you may have to give it back. Oh no, wait a second. If you take before your full retirement age and then you go back to working, and I think they adjusted it this year, but the last number I put on there was $19,000. If you make more than $19,000, you're going to have to start paying back some of that Social Security. So please be careful choosing to take Social Security. I actually met with somebody pandemic pushed them into an early retirement. They didn't want to work anymore. They spent 1 year in retirement at 62 and got bored and wanted to go back to work. And it caused a big problem because they decided to take Social Security early. So understand that if you take before your full retirement age, you don't get to earn very much before you have to start paying it back. So waiting till full retirement age, if you think you're going to work at all, probably a good idea. Now, some workers don't get Social Security. And I've only met one person in my life that didn't have Social Security and didn't have a pension. Holy cow, does that scare people? That is scary. So there's a lot of public employees that don't pay into the system. There's a lot of state employees that don't pay into the system. Illinois is a great example. Most people out of Illinois have really wonderful pensions from a very broke state. So it gets a little scary. They start worrying about their pension being cut. And I have seen some of the letters from some of those institutions cutting their pension. So please be careful. If you are in a career path that you are not paying into Social Security, you have to know it. You have to know that you're not going to get paid Social Security. My father-in-law worked on the railroad his entire life. He has a railroad pension, but no Social Security. So make sure you know if you're in that career path and know that you have to deal with this properly in your planning. Early benefits could be a big mistake. I kind of hit on this on the first session, is you choose to take before your full retirement age, and there's a lot of pitfalls, a lot of problems with that. You're permanently reducing all your benefits in the future, including widow benefits, survivor benefits. Okay, so it's very important that you make the right decision on this. The longer you live, the worse this mistake is, and the bigger the cost of living adjustments are in the future, the bigger the mistake taking early is. So, trap number 5, taking too late might be a big mistake. This proves that it's not about you should all take it 72, you should all take it 60, or sorry, 70, you should all take it 62. This is not about that. For some people, taking early, it makes sense. For some people, waiting till 70, it makes sense. But you need to understand the good and bad of all your choices, right? We can't just make 70 the only right answer. If you choose to take at 70, the younger you pass away, obviously the less money you're going to get paid. If you pass away in your 70s, you should have taken at 62. Okay, factoring in the present value of money for some people. I actually do know somebody that chose to take at 62 and is purposely investing every penny of the money she's receiving and growing that money, and then they're keeping the income below that $19,000 per person, so we can actually factor in the present value of money and grow this money and see what it's worth later. So everybody has different ways of doing this. The greater the inflation rates, if we knew we were going to see 9% inflation every year or more, then I'd tell you, hurry up and take the money, because the money's worth more now than it will be tomorrow, right? So there are lots of reasons. If we're not healthy, you should take early. You shouldn't wait till 70. If we're continuing to see these higher inflation numbers, which we're seeing the signs that it's pulling back, well, then, we do need to consider the present value of money. We do need to consider that it's worth more today than it will be tomorrow. So taking earlier makes sense in those situations. So there are plenty of arguments for taking earlier. So those are just some of the traps. I wanted to make this one quick and easy. I want to make sure that we have spent some extra time on the planning side of this. So 3 and 4, we're going to talk about the planning and wrap it all up. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in the next session. Comment below, share comments. I love it. I love seeing the interaction in here. I reply to all the comments that require replying to. Shoot us emails, give us calls. Happy to help. I'm nationwide, and I don't really live on this beach, although I will someday, I hope. Thanks again. See you soon.